What is the difference between comparable and comparator in Java? Comparable and comparator are two important interfaces used for sorting objects, but they serve different purposes and behave differently. To understand them clearly, we need to compare them point by point using the exact differences interviewers expect. Let's go through each difference in a clean and structured way. 1. Purpose. Comparable defines the natural or default sorting order of a class. This means the class itself decides how its objects should be sorted. Comparator defines external sorting logic that exists outside the class. It is used when you want custom sorting rules without touching the original class. 2. Where it is used. Comparable is used inside the class. You implement comparable when the class wants to define how two of its objects should be compared. Comparator is used outside the class. A separate class or object decides how two objects should be compared. 3. Sorting type. Comparable supports only one sorting order because it lives inside the class. There can be only one compare to method. Comparator supports multiple sorting orders because you can create any number of comparator classes or even write them as lambda expressions. 4th method. Comparable uses compare to and compares the current object with another object. Comparator uses compare and compares two external objects that are passed as parameters. 5. Package. Comparable belongs to java.lang package. Comparator belongs to java.util package. 6. Does it modify the source class? Comparable requires modifying the original class because the class must implement comparable. Comparator keeps the source class unchanged. This is extremely useful when the class belongs to a library or when you are not allowed to modify the original class. 7. Flexibility. Comparable is not flexible because it allows only one sorting logic. Comparator is fully flexible because it allows unlimited sorting strategies outside the source class. 8. When it is used. Comparable is used when your class should always follow a single natural order. For example, numbers are naturally ascending, strings naturally sort alphabetically, employees might naturally sort by ID. Comparator is used when you need multiple sorting orders or when the class cannot be changed. 9. Sorting mechanism. Collections.sort and arrays.sort use the compare to method if the class implements comparable. If the class does not implement comparable, sorting must be done using a comparator. 10. Easy memory trick. Comparable means the object compares itself with another object. Comparator means a third object compares two other objects. Now that we understand all differences clearly, let's walk through a clean and practical example. Let's understand main differences with an example. We begin by creating a student class with the fields name and marks. This class represents the objects we want to sort. Inside the student class, we implement the comparable interface and override the compare to method. The compare to method compares students based on their marks in ascending order. This is the default sorting logic defined inside the class itself. Whenever we call collections.sort without a comparator, this compare to method will be used automatically. Next, we create a separate class called nameComparator that implements the comparator interface. Inside the compare method, we compare the names of two students using string.compareTo. This defines an external sorting logic that sorts students alphabetically. Then we create another comparator called marks.comparator that compares students by marks in descending order. Note that for descending order, we need to compare student 2 marks with student 1 marks. This shows how comparator allows multiple sorting rules for the same class. Now inside the main method, we create a list of student objects. We add Ramesh with 85 marks, Anita with 92 marks, and Vikas with 78 marks. First, we call collections.sort on the list without passing any comparator. Because the student class implements comparable, the compare to method is used automatically and students are sorted by marks in ascending order. Next, we sort the same list again, but this time we pass a name comparator object as the second argument. Now Java ignores the compare_to method and uses the compare method of the name comparator. Students are now sorted by their names alphabetically. Finally, we sort the list once more using the marks desk comparator. This time students are sorted by marks in descending order. This demonstration clearly proves the most important difference between comparable and comparator. Comparable gives you only one sorting order and it must be defined inside the class. Comparator gives you multiple external sorting rules without touching the original class. Now here is the clean interview summary. You can speak directly. Comparable is used to define the natural sorting order inside the class using the compare_to method. It supports only one sorting logic and modifies the source class. Comparator is used to define external sorting rules using the compare method. It supports multiple sorting strategies and does not modify the original class. Comparable is used for default sorting. Comparator is used for custom sorting. That is the complete detailed explanation of comparable versus comparator in Java.